Do you have to be 100% enlightened, completely free of your own suffering before you can help others with their suffering? You know instinctively that the answer must be no, because there are plenty of people doing good work and helping others, and those people may or may not be enlightened. So perhaps what we want to think about is, in what ways can we be aware of where we are on our path and still be of benefit to others? Hi, it's Margaret Maloney, and welcome to the Death Dhamma podcast. I'm a Buddhist practitioner out here in the world, having experienced the loss of my loved ones and knowing how much my Buddhist practice helped me on my grief journey. And now, together we have this safe space to discuss death, dying, grief, and the Buddhist teachings that help us really understand attachment, impermanence, being compassionate, being death ready, and what it means to live a life so that we can have a peaceful death. Yep, it's a big topic, and we're going to take it on together. Let's go. Let's go ahead and start with some basics, like what does it mean to be enlightened, right? In the simplest of terms, this is someone who is not coming back because they have extinguished their karma and they are being released from the suffering of rebirth. That's the definition I'm using, with respect that you might be listening and come from a different tradition. But that means I have, if I were this individual, so let's just say that way, if I were this kind of individual, by the way, I'm positive I am not, that I would not be coming back to this world. Now, traditionally, if you knew that you were enlightened, let's say you are a person, you're listening to this and you're like, haha, Margaret, I am. First of all, if you're enlightened, you're not saying, haha, Margaret, I am. There's that. And if you do know, there is that you are bound not to say. But statistically, I'm going to just guess that there's a lot of us out here practicing and working to extinguish our karma and experience release from suffering. And we may have the ability to turn around and hold a hand out to help others. So I don't think that we need to be a fully enlightened person to be helping others. And we really want to be grounded in this, concept of selflessness, compassion, and mindfulness, right? So we want to have respect for others around us, other sentient beings around us, and the suffering that they may have, and the fact that maybe in a past life we've been them, maybe we will be them, and vice versa. So we really want to think about how we can maintain this connection as sentient beings, and where can we help? Where does it make sense? So, no, we don't have to be enlightened. We all have the capacity for compassion, mindfulness, and selflessness. You don't have to be fully enlightened to feel empathy for another person or to lend a helping hand. But now this might lead to a question such as, well, what does it mean to truly help others? Is it about offering a temporary solution, or is it about helping them to help themselves? Maybe we think of help as a direct action. And it can be, right? Absolutely. Giving food to someone who's hungry, giving money to someone who has no resources, no funds. We also want to dig deeper. Right? We want to dig deeper. We can help by meditating on someone else's well-being, which, by the way, can be construed as a type of action. So, how can we help to help empower others and promote a sustainable change? Now, that doesn't mean that giving food to someone who is hungry is bad. I would never say to you like, well, don't give that person a sandwich because they're going to be hungry again in 5 hours. If you feel compelled and able to give that person a sandwich, give them a sandwich. And that is great, because on any given day, our ability to help and participate with others is going to be different. It's going to be different. Perhaps, though, big picture, if you're heading into a time in your life where you want to be more consistently lending help to others, then maybe you do look, in what way can I provide sustainable help? By the way, that could still be giving food, because you might go to a shelter or a food distribution center, and help get the food ready and help solicit donations to hand out food to others, right? So no matter where we are on our own path towards enlightenment, if we have a deep understanding of ourselves and the world around us, we can guide others towards self-reliance and self-awareness. And we want to remember that, the journey is different for everyone. It's different for everyone. So yes, we can all contribute to the well-being of others, no matter where we are in our spiritual progress. Again, it takes empathy, mindfulness, and compassion, and a genuine desire to make a difference. And I also want to say that we want to be aware of where we are in our path, because we may have some boundaries, some limitations around our ability to help, and that is okay. For example, I'm not a brain surgeon. I know, shocking, right? Who knew? I'm not a brain surgeon. So if somebody comes to me with a headache, my ability to help is different than that of a brain surgeon. But depending on what appears to be the challenge, I might be able to give that person some aspirin or rub their head for them or give them a cold, cloth to put up to their head or their neck. And maybe I have the ability to drive them to the emergency room and to make sure that they get some kind of medical care. But at some point, my ability to help ends. And that's how it's meant to be for me in this scenario. And why I'm bringing this up is I think it's important for each of us to represent where we are. And again, the boundaries. So in this scenario, where again, I'm shockingly not a brain surgeon. For dramatic purposes, I'm not a brain surgeon, and also for real purposes. It teaches me where I can help and where I can't help, and not to let my ego jump in and override the common sense of where I can be contributing to others. And that's what I was trying to get at. So thank you for sticking with me as I made my way to that point, creeping up on it slowly but surely. Some of us like helping. And I'm thinking that most of you listening to this in your way, you like helping because you come from a certain mindset potentially, or you wouldn't be spending time with this podcast, right? And so I can say for myself, I'll make this about myself, not in an egotistical way, but in a way to let other people off the hook. I know that sometimes I have been addicted to helping. I have that caretaker kind of personality. I remember one time one of my friends looking at me and saying something along the lines of like, well, you can't help it, you're a caretaker. And what was so funny to me is like she was saying it like it was a bad thing. And then I realized like, oh yeah, I'm a caretaker and you're not, and we are different, and that is okay. But if I were to get into that addiction of helping, I might go too far. And I might go too far in a way that I am no longer helping, I'm hurting. And I'm not just hurting others, I'm hurting myself. And I've lost sight of being aware of where I am on my path and what that means for my ability to compassionately bring help to someone else, right? So if I try to exceed my skills by doing more than offering the aspirin or the cold cloth or the trip to the emergency room, if I, for one split second, think that I'm going to perform any kind of surgery, that is unskillful. And I am not helping someone with the release from suffering. It's not that I need to be enlightened or that we need to be enlightened. It's that we need to be aware of who we are, how we are, where we are, and our limitations. And in that way, of course, we can help one another. Look at it this way. Every piece counts. We're all part of, let's think of it as like a big mosaic or big puzzle. Every piece counts, and that includes you. And don't underestimate the power of your actions, however small you may think they are. That sandwich or that cup of water to that person, even if in a few hours they're going to need something again, might just take them to the next point on their journey. And that might be the point where they get even more help and do some transcendence. Thank you for joining me and thinking about all of this. And, keep going and keep helping others in the way that makes the most sense. I've got books for you, starting with Carpooling with Death, How Living with Death Will Make You Stronger, Wiser, and Fearless, the book that got me going and helped me to discuss going through the death of my loved ones, followed by Sitting with Death, Buddhist insights to help you face your fears and live a peaceful life, based on Season 1 of the Death Dhamma podcast. And just recently, Enlightenment Unleashed, how your pet can lead you to spiritual transformation, because during our lifetime, we may see the rising and ceasing of many pets, and we love them like they are our family. Find these on Amazon.com or come see me at MargaretMaloney.com. You've been listening to the Death Dhamma podcast with your host, Margaret Maloney. Thank you so much for being here. Come find me on MargaretMaloney.com, MargaretMeloni.com. And until we meet again, may you be well, may you be happy, may you be at ease, and may you be free from suffering. Bye for now.